What are some things that we should avoid doing as Scrum Masters? Each of these I have done, and I would encourage you to learn from my experience so that you don't do them. The first one is to tell, not ask. And this is subtle, powerful, and incredibly important. It's the reason that the language in the Scrum Guide changed from a servant leader to a true leader that serves. Your worth as a Scrum Master is helping people grow and mature in the way that they are working together. The manner in which you do that shapes the way that they grow. When you adopt an ask, don't tell stance, it helps you differentiate from that directive command and control style of behavior often associated with predictive work. We are intending to create, at the very least, self-organizing teams, preferably self-managing teams. When we get teams into this space, they will need to be aware of their situation and context to make the most appropriate choices at the time. So by asking them questions and guiding them through that, you guide them through that thinking process and help them learn by doing. Active learning is proven to be the most effective way to remember things. It's also the most effective way to learn. The studies have proven this. Learning on the job is so much more effective than learning separated from your environment because there's so many contextual triggers. It's the reason of the go see in Lean. It's the reason that training within industry. It's the reason for apprenticeships. So when we're working with people and having discussions, we help grow their understanding of how to act. So that's the first one. Ask, don't tell, not the other way around. The second one is really easy to fall into, particularly in the early days of working with Scrum. And that is where you fall into the mechanics trap. Now, the mechanics trap means all you want to do is go through the motions, ticking the boxes, going through the checklist. Mechanical Scrum does not have decisions based on values. Remember, the 5 Scrum values underpin trust and enable transparency, inspection, adaptation, which is empiricism. Without those Scrum values, the mechanics of Scrum can become a brutal tool of oppression, nano management, and real unhappiness. I've seen this with teams where they're just forced to, like, you must get up, you must get into sprint planning, daily Scrum, and it's like chuck, stopwatches and real focus on the mechanics instead of the intent, having that time and space around the events for people to understand how they're gaining something from that, how empiricism is working in the events, spending the time and energy to help those who don't understand or are cynical about why we have retrospectives, helping them connect with their stakeholders so they can see why a sprint review is so powerful. When we do this, we implement Scrum as it should be. And the reason, in my experience, that most people hate Scrum is because it's been forced in a very mechanical way. They're not encouraged to engage with it. And worst of all, when they propose changes in the retrospective, they are vetoed by the organization. And so that means that Scrum then becomes a brutal tool of nano management and oppression. And I will have no truck with that. And if you as a Scrum Master are letting that happen, shame on you. You should be standing up and speaking truth to power and going, that ain't Scrum. And no, I'm not going to give you a plan for what's happening 6 sprints from now because I don't know, and nor do you. So that mechanical trap, it's dangerous. And it's everything that we should be mindful of. But it's very easy to fall into in the early days. The third thing is the admin trap. And this is where you hobble or limit the team by doing too much for them. This is where you become the Scrum secretary, the Scrum admin person. You know, oh yeah, I'll update that. Oh yeah, let me take the minutes of this. Oh, can I update that work item? Should I do this? Should I set this up? Should I do that? Should I do this in the tool? Yeah, let me organize all the events. Some of it's a balance, right? Some of it you need to do as your accountability of a Scrum Master. Some of it is limiting the team's ability to do stuff for themselves. When we fall into these mechanistic traps, into these busy work traps, into these directive traps, we're going against the very soul and spirit of Scrum. When you talk to Jeff and Ken about it, what they were looking for was a way out of the directive project management to recover a product quickly. What they found was by making things visible, understood, and helping the team deliver things and get that feedback loop working, great things happened. When we focus on the essence of that, then you will achieve what you need.